Okay, so let's talk about it. For healing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but to harness it for healing reasons, the way that they have trained us
Yeah.
and how to get behind easy, free.
Well, and like you're already doing it. So it's not scary. Astral projection is not scary. Um, you're doing it. Surprise, you're doing it. When you're sleeping, you're doing it when you're meditating. Holy cow. I will never forget the day this girl texted me and said, your baby was in the swing, but I saw his soul hovering over the swing and he said, "Hi, Bobo." But he was only 4 months old, so there ain't no way his body said, "Hi, Bobo." And I was like, oh shit, okay. Don't know how I feel about that, but I'm gonna move on with it. Um,
Maybe I should have spared you that trauma.
no, I love it
Oh,
because
okay.
I look at it now and I'm like, yeah, like it is just a regular thing.
It really is.
You astral play every night.
The astral play.
Do your thing, 21. But you do it every night. We have we live off of metaphors. So if you don't like that, maybe we're not your cup of tea. However, we like it.
We like the food metaphors.
Mm-hmm. We also like medical metaphors. So that's kind of where we're gonna this one. Let's say I, Jessie, am needing some assistance in the astral.
Bing bing.
Yep. My nurse light would be on while I'm sleeping. Oh, Jessie needs help. Well, my people in my field would see that. People on my floor, right? So maybe Missy's not doing anything, and it's so weird calling you that. And she, helps me in the astral, and then vice versa. And it's never anything super like involved in your cognitive brain. It's all subconscious. It's all your soul.
Right. It's all happening on a consciousness cellular level. So there are cells in your physical body, but there are also cells in consciousness. So it's all happening there. And they're sort of, I mean, this is poor verbiage, but they're sort of using our brain as a processor to process information. So you can sometimes get glimpses of things that happen in the astral. That's why sometimes your brain will just do this really weird shit that doesn't make any sense. Like I look at your face and you turn from Jessie to a puppy. Like
That'd be cool.
it actually could be a dream about spirit, but like if I didn't know that,
You'd just be like, wow, what this crazy ass dream I had last
right,
night.
exactly. But maybe I was working in both realms.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I was working with you healing, but I also was working in the animal realm. So, like, it could just be sort of this hodgepodge of what your conscious mind actually remembers.
Yeah.
And then there are some dreams and some work that we do in the astral that is so poignant and it comes through so clearly and feels so real. Those are the ones where you know you've been deep in it.
Mm-hmm.
You've been to the wilderness.
Yeah.
And what you can recall, oftentimes, if you piece that together and just lean into it, you can kind of feel around and figure out what it was you were doing. That's actually how we started validating with our dreams. Like we started asking about whether or not the dream was just like brain candy or if it was an actual spiritual experience.
Yeah.
Was validating with the AG, was this just my brain or did something happen in the astral? And then we started to kind of figure out that people had passions, like even on a soul or spiritual level.
More passion. More passion. More energy. TikTok has fried my brain.
I'm aware, mine too. So we started to see that people had passions and
You're doing work.
Yeah,
you have a job at night to do bleh. Maybe it's to before we fully transitioned to 4D. Maybe it was to anchor in the new earth. Maybe it was to heal old timelines. Um, we have an extensive list.
Family line, ancestral healing is one of them. There is quite a few, but like your soul has a particular interest as well, and you have things that you're good at and things that you lean toward even in the astral. And you're doing that every night. Your body needs to rest, but your soul less so. There is soul rest that happens, but that's a different topic, but your body needs way more rest than your soul needs.
And also, so we're talking about astral night and astral healing. Um, when people are in comas or people are under anesthesia,
Mhm.
astral healing takes place too. And also, sometimes it's easier to reach somebody's consciousness when they are unconscious. So, if you have a loved one that's in surgery, they're under anesthesia, there may be an opportunity for you to connect with them and their being. Um, and some people, that's how you get those crazy stories when people wake up from surgery, like,
Right.
oh my gosh, I saw X, Y, and Z. Well, they're not making it up. They're not hot, laughing gas high. They're relaying their experiences that they had in the astral.
Right. And
That ass get around. That astral get around.
true that. And just to kind of just touch on that, comas, Alzheimer's, other nonverbal, that subconscious is still there, whether or not they can articulate.
Pregnancy.
Yeah, you've got an extra soul on board, and so there's a lot of things, and astral covers from literally from meditation to near death,
Yeah.
and then even into death. The beginning stages of death are still considered the astral realm, and that is per oneness.
Yeah. That gosh, there's just so much. There's so many like subtopics under this topic.
Agreed.
But really the most again, I'm gonna be a broken record, you guys, but it is just you falling asleep. Like it is just you simply existing and being you, that you could, get that healing, or you could make that impact with someone else, or make a connection with another soul that's halfway across the country or in a different country. Like,
Right.
and just your souls are from the same soul family, and so you're going to be innately drawn to them. We have a research team that we meet with, and there's a particular event that happened with one of their loved ones lately that we all spent intentional time healing consciously. But I can speak for myself, and I know you did the same thing.
Mhm.
Every night before I went to bed, I set my intentions to please use me in the astral for how I need to be used for this person's
Right.
highest and best self, for my highest and best, just to be a beacon of love and light in that person, because I'm sleeping and I'm okay.
Right.
And I know that I'm comfortable enough to ask for that, and I know you are too.
Right. I don't think people understand that. Again, this is poor verbiage, that our bodies can be used as metabolizers, as purification systems, and some of us get used in other ways.
Use me, baby.
But certain energies have to be metabolized. Some can be transmuted, some can be metabolized. So it just depends on what you're doing in the astral, but you're always working. And if you lay down to go to bed at night and you set an intention, you cannot forget that free will supersedes everything.
Yeah.
So if I say I want to help, whoever in the astral tonight, or I want to work on this part of me, in the astral tonight, that free will supersedes anything else that I have going in the back burner. When normally higher self or other versions of me are going to make the decision on what I'm going to work on that night, or my body. Sometimes your body just literally needs, recharging or updates or, all of the things that we do while our cells are resting. Your nervous system has to hit that rest and digest mode, though, so that your cells can take on as much as they can spiritually, energetically. And so that just add that to my shameless attempt at you regulating your nervous system.
Oh, I'm just gonna say it. Regulate your nervous system.
That should be a t-shirt.
That'll be a card I just leave everywhere I go. Regulate your nervous system.
Please.
So you, just because you ask for something and you don't remember it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Kind of tying this all into how we can make it a part of our everyday lives is that I talk to my kids a lot about, like, we talk about grief, and I say all the time, you can ask before you go to bed tonight.
Yes.
Ask for them to come visit you, or ask for you to go play with them, in your dreams. We have some furry friends that have passed, and they like to talk about them, and some loved ones, and so it's a lot of just ask. And then we talk about it in the morning. Hey, do you remember anything of your dreams, or do you remember this happening? And there have been times where they don't, and there have been times where they do. And it's always about the reassurance of, even if your conscious mind doesn't remember, your soul does.
Right.
And this is where some, like,
not just your soul, but your cells.
Yes.
Your body remembers. The same way that your cells are storing trauma, they're storing these experiences that you're having in the astral.
They store the good things too, not just the bad. We just think the bad.
Right.
But you can always, like, meditate, pendulum, muscle test. Did I actually meet up with?
Right.
Missing my sleep. Did I actually help this person? Or, if you want to work on something that's happening overseas, or a war, or work on the ocean, or whatever it is, you can always double check with yourself. Like, did I really do this? Was that mission successful? And if it wasn't, then adjust it.
And I don't know that it isn't that black and white too. I just want to add that it's not always was the mission successful. Energy is subtle, and it happens in increments. So
100%.
you may be working on something like,
but did I get there? Did I start?
Right.
Did I make the attempt?
Did I make progress?
Yeah.
And a lot of times I know, even when I'm working on, with one-on-one clients, and I might set my intention to join them in the astral and walk them through a certain thing, or I'm working with you guys, and I know that things happen in steps, and I might not be able to handle it that night, but throughout the course of the week, it does average out, and it does happen.
Oh yeah. And it's the trust in oneness, and it's the trust in yourself that I know my soul is only going to do what it has the capacity to do.
Right.
And if I am so exhausted and I am so overwhelmed and my soul can't handle it or take it, or, I'm going to work on myself in the astral.
Right.
And you're just going to do what you need to do.
And the trust that this is actually happening. We have had the benefit of, over the past 5-ish years, we've had the benefit of saying, did this actually happen? Was this a spiritual experience or a brain candy thing? So we've had that opportunity where we understand that not everybody else does, but by sharing our stories and sharing that consistently for 5 years, this has been the pattern. And they consistently say, we are always getting them down. It took us a while to figure this out, but to get them down to vibrationally on a scale from 1 to 5, how much difference how far did I get tonight? So we can ask on a scale of 1 to 5, how far did I get? Maybe it's a 1 and we're okay. Like, that's okay. Sometimes
Progress is progress, baby.
they always surprise me. I always am genuinely shocked with like, damn, we made it to a
A
4.
3,
Yeah.
yeah.
And really, I didn't do as much. We make everything harder than it actually has to be.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it.
This is totally new information. Yeah. We make everything way harder. And uh, when I'm sure you've heard this before, if you have been in spiritual work for any amount of time, allowing is allowing is one of the most difficult things for our cognitive brains to wrap around. So when you set an intention and then you drift off to sleep, you are truly being in complete allowance because cognitive brain is offline, right? As long as you can get your body and your cells to rest and digest and your cognitive brain offline, you are working. So harness that time and use use those moons during the astral too. If there's a certain theme for that particular moon, use that. And you don't even have to know what it is. Just say, I want to amplify the energy of the moon tonight in the astral to serve my highest and best.
Period.
Yeah. The intentional harnessing of energy that is free for us to use in our environment is underrated and underused. And that's part of what we do.
That was good.
I think we talked about it.
Always talk about that ass.
That astral
That
bow.
astral bow. Take care of yourselves.
Do the things. Can I push stop now?
You can stop this.